Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. We have some breaking news today. We are on the holy day of the 17th of Tammuz. Today is a fast day where we commemorate the beginning of the destruction of the temple, and we await the building of the third temple. Today, a rocket was launched from Lebanon and Israel, and it's interesting that it happened today on this day, the 17th of Tammuz, because this is a day that really reminds us of the state of exile we're in, that we need redemption, that we need the Geula, we need the Moshiach. And the rocket being launched at Israel surely does remind us that we need Mashiach, because that will definitely not happen when Mashiach is revealed. Nobody will launch anything at Israel. No one will. Only thing they'll launch at us is gifts, because they'll recognize the glory of Israel and the glory of the Almighty. So I think this emphasizes the point that we need to increase in our prayers, that, well, the situation is very interesting. A rocket launched from Lebanon is not like just a regular rocket launched from Gaza, which is also something. But from Lebanon, we know that the whole arena is interesting, that there's a much more powerful militant group in Lebanon than in Gaza. So the fact that this was launched there, whether it was Palestinians or whether it was Lebanese militants, is a different story. But it shows that the area is heating up, and if a war happens with Lebanon, it will be a very disastrous war, especially for the Lebanese side. But what I want to say is, this is a reminder from the Almighty to us that we need to turn to Him, especially on this important and powerful day, like the 17th of Tammuz, that we're beginning now the 3 weeks until Tisha B'Av, where we mourn the actual day of the destruction of the first and second temple. Both temples were destroyed on that day, 3 weeks from today. And we are now embarking in the 3 weeks, and now is a time where we really have to increase in our Torah study, and specifically we have to learn the Torah about the Beis Hamikdash. We have to learn about the temple. We have to learn the laws of the temple. We have to learn the history of the temple. We have to learn the inner dimensions of the temple, the spiritual, the Kabbalistic secrets about the temple. We have to involve ourselves in the study of the temple. And the Rebbe tells us, that the Gemara tells us, that the prophet Ezekiel tells us, that by doing this we literally build the temple. And there's a question: is the temple built in heaven or down here on earth? And there's two opinions. The Rebbe says, how do we deal with both opinions? The answer is it's a combination of both. It will be built mostly in heaven, but the Mashiach will finish the job, put the doors on the temple here down on earth. We know the temple is, of course, an interface between heaven and earth. It is the place where God reveals Himself, and from there the whole revelation extends throughout the whole world, and the whole world experiences God infinitely. It's a feeling that's so delightful, so beyond description. Only try to scratch the surface with words. But I think in the situation we know in Jenin, in the West Bank, in the whole military situation here in the Holy Land of Israel is interesting, because it's not like any other place in the world where there's constant enemies around us and constant factors changing and situations developing. And it's quite dynamic, and especially now the Lebanon, there's so many different arenas. There's the Lebanese arena, there's Gaza, there's the West Bank, there's Iran, and there's all Syria as well. So it's like so many different aspects. And a rocket was launched from Lebanon, and Israel responded. I posted the video below of Israel taking out the sites of these rocket launchers. So we pray that the Mashiach comes immediately, then there'll be ultimate peace. Because that's the whole point, that the war is in our hearts, to bring the Mashiach. And with that, I bless you all that the coming of Messiah happens immediately, and the redemption occurs immediately.